This is my 911 emergency alert to you guys. This is going down, and it's going down right now. Stay tuned. Posted. I'm not going to do a video, but guys, you have to hear this. And when you hear this, some of y'all are not going to care. Some of y'all are going to care. But right now, everyone needs to care.
Interestingly, there is a push underway now to abolish private property. You see that with the World Economic Forum, where you'll own nothing and be happy by the year 2030. And you see it with Zohran Mamdani, mayor of New York, where he calls for the abolition of private property. Locke and Jefferson understood that work, with its rewards, meant satisfaction and purpose. They considered the pursuit of happiness. The World Economic Forum says by the year 2030, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. That sounds like a Nazi command.
Establishment of what are called data centers across the state. Now, these facilities require significant amounts of water to cool their servers, and estimates suggest that a single data center could consume up to 2.5 million gallons of water each day. So in response to these water demands, a local bill is being considered that would allow predominantly white counties to draw water from predominantly black counties to address these particular water shortages.
I know. It is Senate Bill 214, and particularly Section 5, which basically strips the right of North Carolina majority black, three of North Carolina majority black counties: Halifax, which is the county where Enfield rests, 56% black, Warren, and also Vance County. And this white county, Franklin County, which is 70% white, is now saying through their Senate legislation representation that they should have the right to any property, not just water. It says property in that section, and interest in that property through condemnation. So they can condemn any property in these other counties without the consent or approval of elected officials in said counties.
I don't want a certain group of people to think that this does not apply to you. This applies to every single person that is not in their tax bracket, okay? They want us to own absolutely nothing. And this is one of the ways I believe, and I can see, the writing is on the wall, that they're going to do that. They can see a property and say, we're going to condemn that property and we're going to take that property. And you're left where? Where are you left? You're not going to get any money from it. They're going to take it. And this is all a test. They always test it out in a state. If it passes, guess what? Every state is going to adopt that. And the wording of it matters. They didn't just say, we want to take some of your water. We're going to take your property. Access. We're taking everything. This is insane. These people are so evil, because while it's set at a certain group of people, this is going to happen for anyone who owns property. This is how they have planned to make sure when the WEF said you will own nothing and be happy, this is how they're going to do it, in my opinion. And you can let me know in the comments what you think after you see what I'm about to show you. But this rolls into the one world system. So check these videos out and hit the like. Everybody needs to see this video. This is so disgusting on so many levels. But I've been telling y'all, this was their plan. I just did not know how they were going to make sure we have absolutely nothing. Now, they're not giving up anything. Not a thing.
Nation. So they can condemn any property in these other counties without the consent or approval of elected officials in said counties. This is tragic, and it's also as American as apple pie.
So when we talk about the history of what white communities take from black communities, this is the apple pie kind of analogy that you've been referring to. What should people know about this bill in terms of whether or not it has support?
Right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to sound the alarm. This is why I came to roll in first, because if we're talking about how black people hear what's affecting us that the world might not be talking about, this is where we should be at first. So we need people talking about this, because this is a civil rights issue. This is a stripping issue and also, if these conservatives are really concerned about property rights, how are they supporting this? So what I need people to do is to understand that next Tuesday at 4 o'clock, the North Carolina State Senate plans on voting on this issue. And if it passes, it goes to the House. And if it passed the House, it becomes law. Because guess what? It is a local bill at the state level, and North Carolina local bills at the state level that are passed through the legislature do not and prevent the governor from being able to veto it. So even though there's a Democratic governor who may want to veto this bill, he will not have that ability because of how this bill is stricken, and it does not apply to the entire state, just a simple region. This is dangerous, and it's setting a precedent that say that white people who want things can use this tool to take it away from black majority counties. Right? It takes away the humanity of my residents in Vance and also throughout the rest of Halifax and Warren County. And we shouldn't sit idle as if this is something small. This is how they are testing what they can do and where they can do it at. So people should understand that this is not a time to be afraid of what's next, because it's here now.
The World Economic Forum in 2020 said you're going to own nothing and be happy. And I remember everybody was in an uproar. And 6 years later, I'm going to share with you two things that you better wake up and pay attention. So 6 years later, after the World Economic Forum said you're going to own nothing and be happy, Elon posts that with AI and robotics, we're going to have universal high income because people won't even have jobs. 6 years later. Now there was something else that was warned. In 2020, there was warnings sent out by 6 major organizations that pension funds were going to start to run out of money. And on April 9th, 2026, the United States Postal Service reached out to Congress and said, we are running out of money for our pensions. I've been trying to warn the middle class to wake up. You need to start to understand inflation, which is silent taxation. You need to understand the real implications of what's happening with the Straits of Hormuz and what this means to your family's future and retirement. I'm going to stay in my lane, which is macro and microeconomics. And over the next 3 years, you're going to see AI technology and robotics completely transform how the middle class lives. By 2029, you're going to see massive, massive inflation. These are all band-aids that they're putting in place as they move themselves into the new system. What you will see after 2030 is blockchain technology. Every bank will have a stablecoin. Every country will have a stablecoin. Bitcoin will be a reserve. It's like we have a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Banks are transitioning to fintech, financial technology. Jobs that can be automated will be. What took 18 years will take 3 years. And in 3 years, what took 3 years will take 3 months. And then in 3 months, what took 3 months will take 3 minutes. So if you're in a job, you need to ask yourself, is your job AI and robotic proof? And if it isn't, you need to skill up. But one thing you should be really doing right now is paying attention on where you can invest to beat inflation. Because everything that's going to happen over the next 24 months is going to be temporary. One of two things is going to happen. One, Kevin Warsh is going to come in, the head of the Federal Reserve, the new Fed, and he's going to lower interest rates dramatically, and they're going to print a shitload of money. But you lose. That devalues your currency. So the wealthy are going to move into assets that preserve value. Hint, on the other side, if we go into massive inflation like we are now with the Straits of Hormuz being closed down, every single day it's closed down is a reverberation effect. We're about 4 months worth of damage so far. You think gas prices are high now? If this stays shut down, gas prices are going to skyrocket, food prices are going to skyrocket, and again, you get hurt once again. Because either you get hit by devaluation of your currency through printing of money, or you get hit by silent taxation, which is inflation. You can't see it because you see $1,000 in your bank account, but it's silently eroding your buying power. So you have to wake up to how the system actually works. So pay attention. The World Economic Forum said you're going to own nothing and be happy in 2030. But the fact is, most Americans don't own anything right now. We're pissed off.
Today, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. That's the direction we're headed, with never-ending payments and never-ending subscriptions with never-ending price increases. And now, to fix affordable housing, we have the 50-year mortgage plan. It's almost like they want to work us to
Here's to the good days, here's to the sorrows. If this is a mistake, I know about tomorrow.